What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new review. So about a couple of months ago we had a phone on the channel called the Power One. It was a phone that was about $50 if I remember correctly, but for that price it was a really good phone. So today we have the second phone from that company called the Power 2. Now this is not as cheap as the first one, this one it's about $100, but it has a massive 6000 milliamp battery. And this is probably the cheapest phone that you can get that has a 6000 milliamp hour battery inside. Now the phone has a 5.5 inch screen that has a resolution of 720p. We also have a MediaTek 6737. This is a quad-core CPU, not the fastest CPU out there. We also have 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and the device is running Android 7. We only have about 10 gigs out of that 16 that comes with the device. However, you can easily install an SD card as internal storage, so the phone can take either 2 SIM cards or a SIM card and an SD card. The phone itself doesn't look too bad, and it looks kind of like all the other phones that we've seen from China lately, so nothing that spectacular, and it's still a big phone considering that we have a 5.5 inch screen. We have a metallic frame and a super shiny plastic back. Now when it's clean it does look quite good, however every single time you touch it you're gonna leave fingerprints on it, and considering that this is made out of plastic it's gonna get scratched very easy. As you can see we have 2 cameras on the back of this phone, and we've seen this for a lot of Chinese phones in the past. So one of the cameras it's an 8 megapixel sensor and the second one it's a 2 megapixel sensor. So if you're planning to take any pictures with that bokeh effect, well, you basically get a circle in the middle and everything in the circle it's clear and everything outside of that circle it's blurred out, so the pictures don't look good at all. Now if you take regular looking pictures, so you use just the 8 megapixel camera on the back of the phone, the pictures actually look decent. We even have an HDR mode that does somewhat okay and actually better than a lot of phones that I've seen that were more expensive. So the pictures that you're gonna take with plenty of light are very detailed and the colors are very accurate as well. And the camera actually takes better pictures than a lot of other phones that I've seen that were more expensive. As for the pictures that you're gonna take in low light, well, I can't exactly say the same. I mean, the pictures aren't horrible, but they're not great. So they're blurry here, grainy there, so not the best pictures that you're gonna take. But for a phone in this price range, I think they are appropriate. And since we are talking about pictures, on the front of the device we have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera and we even have a front-facing flash. The pictures look kind of okay if you have plenty of light, but as soon as you don't have enough light, the pictures become very blurry and it's very difficult to actually take a good picture in low light. Now the screen. So we have a 5.5 inch screen that has a resolution of 720p, so not 1080p as we've seen for a lot of other phones from China. However, the price of the phone is kind of low. The colors are nice and vibrant, I can't really say anything about them, and the viewing angles are good, but the screen doesn't get that bright, so whenever you go outside it's gonna be difficult to actually see it. The screen sensitivity is also better than other more expensive phones that I tried in the past, and you can touch the screen in 5 places at the same time and the screen will register. And just below the screen we have the multitasking button, we also have the fingerprint scanner that's also a home button and the return key. The fingerprint scanner is accurate 95% of the time, but maybe not the fastest that I've seen, so it takes about a second after you actually press the button for the screen to unlock. And we're moving back to the phone's frame. So on top you're gonna find a 3.5mm audio jack, and even though the sound quality is not the best that I've heard, I think it's appropriate for a phone in this price range. And we are moving to the bottom of the device, so there you're gonna find a microphone. We also have the micro USB charging port and the speaker, and the speaker it's actually louder than a lot of other phones that I've tried in the past. But here is a quick sample of how the speaker sounds. And as you've heard, the speaker doesn't sound bad at all. So the phone supports OTG as well, but we don't have fast charging. So charging the phone from 0 to 100 is done in about 4.5 to 5 hours, so very slow. And just like the previous phone from this company, the battery life is absolutely amazing. So you can easily get 10 hours of screen on time. 10 hours of screen on time is just insane on a phone that costs only about $100. So yeah, easily get 10 hours of screen on time. For performance, well, you can't expect that much from that MediaTek 6737, so the scores that you're gonna get on the Antutu benchmark and the Geekbench 4 of course are kind of low. Luckily, the UI on this phone is very close to stock Android, and it's also very well optimized, so everything that you're gonna do actually feels very speedy. Moving in between screens, opening apps. I mean, opening apps is going to be a bit longer than your more expensive phone, but that's quite normal because we don't have that much power from that CPU. However, for a phone that costs about $100 and it lasts for like 10-15 hours with a screen on, yeah, I think it performs quite well. The usual apps like Chrome work decent if you give them enough time to load. After they load, they do seem to perform quite well. On the YouTube app, of course, the maximum resolution is going to be 720p because that's the maximum resolution of the screen. But all the YouTube videos that you're going to watch at that resolution do work very well as well. You can even play games to this phone, but only if you don't have crazy expectations. I mean, the couple of games that I played did work very well, but if you're gonna start downloading bigger and heavier games, well, those aren't gonna work as well, and you're gonna see a lot of skipped frames. Overall, I was quite impressed with the UI and how the phone works, even though we don't have that much RAM and we don't have a very powerful CPU. And we are moving to the GPS unit inside this phone. So surprisingly, once again, it works better than a lot of other phones that I tried. So it only takes a couple of seconds to find your location. Once your location is found, it doesn't seem to lose it. And of course, using Google Maps or any navigation app works very well as well. For sensors, well, unfortunately, we don't have too many. But once again, considering the price of the phone, I was kind of expecting that. So no gyroscope on this device. Connectivity wise, we have 4G connectivity, we have dual band Wi-Fi, and surprise, we have Bluetooth 5.0. And the range on the Bluetooth is actually very good and very close to the range that I have on my Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, which is quite surprising once again because the phone is so cheap. As for the speeds over the dual band Wi-Fi and the 4G network, well, they are actually better than some other phones that I've seen that are more expensive. And it's time to conclude this video. So if you don't have crazy expectations, this is actually a very good phone for about $100. And I was quite impressed by the battery life and the software optimization because we don't really see that very often. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.